Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lemon Live at 5. We are live on the road. Right now, we are in Ohio. Thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate it. That music, my producer who's on the road with me, they call it my boomer music. We like the music. So we are taking a road trip, as we told you, talking to viewers across the country, sort of. We're going halfway across the country because we're going to Chicago from New York City. And we've been talking to voters, and we've been getting some really interesting information. So as we're on the road, we just left. As a matter of fact, we're kind of still in Cleveland. We were in downtown Cleveland. Now we're sort of on the outskirts in the suburbs, and we're heading towards Detroit, but you said we could stop in where? Toledo, Ohio. So anyways, that is producer Chris, who's over here. We'll talk to him in just a second. So anyway, as we're speaking, Pennsylvania is hot right now. The reason we wanted to come to Pennsylvania, a couple of reasons. One is that Pennsylvania is, of course, a battleground state. 19 electoral college votes up for grabs here. Many, many, many voters. They are being bombarded with ads. All the candidates are here. As a matter of fact, we can put it up right now. Donald Trump is here speaking, I believe, as we speak. He's in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. He is going to Scranton tomorrow. So there he is speaking live. You see him up on your screen. So he's in the same state that we're in. He is in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. And then he's going to head to Scranton tomorrow for a rally. The Vice President, Kamala Harris, or as we call her, VP Kamala, and Tim Walz, Governor Walz, they are here. They will be in Pittsburgh tomorrow. And what they're doing is kicking off their road trip. They're doing exactly what we're doing. They're going across and they're just talking to voters. They're campaigning. We're just getting a feel of what the voters are saying. And they're going to kick off a bus tour to Chicago. So great minds think alike, because we started with the same thing. So Pennsylvania is very hot right now. And I'm so glad that we came here because we are learning a lot. We're learning a lot. We started in New York, obviously, and then from New York we went to New Jersey. From New Jersey to Philadelphia, from Jersey Shore, I should say, to Philadelphia. So crowd sizes. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this crowd size thing. Donald Trump, is obsessed with crowd sizes. He started talking about it when he first ran back in 2015 and 2016. Crowd sizes, crowd sizes, crowd sizes. He was obsessed with it. His very first day in office, remember the inaugural crowd sizes. Oh my gosh, this is the largest crowd size or whatever in history, right? Remember Reince Priebus, not Reince Priebus, but Sean, what's his name, who said that, oh my gosh, it was the largest in history. So as it turns out, it was not. So he's been obsessed with that forever. So if we can play this, because this is a close-up of it, okay? I'm not saying that there's not a big crowd there for Donald Trump, but the crowd sizes are not the same. This is what people who are there are putting up on social media. We'll roll that video of them putting it up on social media. And this was a couple of minutes, not long, I should say, maybe 20 minutes or so, they said, before the rally started. And apparently they had cordoned off some of the areas. I don't know if it's because they couldn't fill the seats, but it wasn't quite full. And they're picking camera angles that show a full crowd. And this is conservative media. I want to play this. Making excuses for the crowd sizes. Watch.
Say, like you said, behind us there's a whole area that's like roped off, so you can't even, nobody's allowed there. But there's only one little section on that side, one section on that side. I will say some of the mainstream media have said it's 60% full. I said it's more like 85 right now, 85%. Not because you can't count the area that's not allowed to be used. You can't count that. So, and it's only one section. So there's only two little sections, and then of course all the way up there. So here's what's happening.
Okay, as I said, no one really gives a shit about crowd sizes. The only person who really cares that much is Donald Trump. You can, for whatever reason, if you're a psychologist, psychiatrist, a therapist, you can figure that out on your own. Anyone who's cared about something being that big or that small, I don't know what the hell's going on, but he's certainly obsessed with it. And that's the only reason we're talking about it. And now the right-wing media is sort of making excuses for it because saying, oh, what, people could not get in, or they're cordoning off certain areas that you're not allowed to go. I'm not there. I'm getting the information, and it is bizarre. I find it really, really bizarre. Come up with your own assertion about what you think it is. But in true Tim Walz fashion, this guy is really, really amazing when it comes to reacting to MAGA and meeting people where they are, matching their energy and going even further. I know that the former First Lady, Michelle Obama, said, when they go low, we go high. She's taking the high road. She's a classy lady. She's very demure. She is very mindful. But people want a different energy right now. Not everybody wants to be demure. Not everybody wants to be mindful. Not everybody wants to be classy. I think Tim Walz wants to be cutesy, and he wants to take them on. Tim Walz says, hey, look, you care about crowd sizes? I got something for you. Here it is.
You might have seen, things got pretty exciting for me over the last 10 days, but not just for me. If you didn't notice, a few people showed up in Philly last week. And then about 12,000 showed up, many thousands walking for miles in the heat to a field in western Wisconsin. Then at that time, the largest rally of the campaign showed up in Detroit, Michigan. Donald Trump said it was AI. You know what won't be AI? Their ballots come November will not be AI.
Listen, I got to tell you, dude is on fire. You got to love his energy. You've got to love his energy. Before, people would have been afraid to react to that, to talk about it. We're above this. We've got to talk about policy all the time. We can't meet them where they are. Hey, your crowds, when you're worried about crowd sizes, guess what? The votes, when you go to the voting booth, that won't be AI. So, and Donald Trump has been saying it's AI, it's AI, it's AI, even though it's videotaped. People are there, they're shooting pictures, they're there, and they're saying, listen, the crowd sizes are huge and they are real. It's really like a concert. I don't care whose crowd sizes are bigger and better. I think most people really care whose crowd sizes, meaning going to the voting booths on election day. That's what people really care about. Crowd size or whatever, fine. It shows some enthusiasm, but what does it have to do with the price of tea? I think it's important in this election because it shows enthusiasm, and they are definitely drawing big crowds. Both of them are, but to see this momentum and this happening with VP Kamala is quite extraordinary, especially after she's only been in this race for a couple of weeks, really just over 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Okay, so as we've been talking, we've been noticing that there's one theme that runs through all of this. One theme that runs through all of this the most. There are a couple of things, but it's like, people are like, I'm tired of the bullshit. I'm tired of the name calling. I'm tired of the vitriol. I'm tired of the yelling. I'm tired of the crazy, crazy partisanship and making excuses. But mostly, they're tired of it coming from Donald Trump. People say, we've heard it a lot. I like him. We heard that in 2020 and 2016 as well. But I don't like the stuff that he says. I wish he wouldn't say, half of the stuff that he says all the time. So people said they are tired of vitriol. Like this, the negativity. Look at this New York Post cover. This New York Post cover, this is what the New York Post does. When people see this sort of energy that is happening here with this like communism and all of that, it's fun, it's cutesy, as they say. It's not mindful, it's not demure. When people see this, it turns them off, quite frankly. They feel like I have been saying over and over and over and over again that MAGA and Trump are running a campaign that is from a time gone by. And I say that time gone by thing, I know I say it a lot. I say it for a reason, because it's a time gone by. It's over. It's from a different era. It's a different type of politicking. It's a different type of campaigning. People don't do that anymore. Just as most people, or many people, I should say, are turning off corporate media and they're not watching corporate media. I hate to say mainstream media, right? Because of the was coined by political apparatchiks. But I hate to say that, but people are turning to social media, they're turning to digital media, and they are getting, they're going on their phones and they're getting information. And it's not that negative, old school type of electioning and campaigning. And so that is turning them off, and they don't want to hear it. And they are being bombarded with these ads. We spoke to folks in Harrisburg and in Pittsburgh, and they're like, every day it's an ad. I'm getting them on my phone. I'm getting them on my television. I keep deleting. Every time you turn on the TV, they're over it. They're also over when I say the negativity and the shit that comes out of Donald Trump's mouth. They think it's funny, and it's not. When he talks about putting a civilian military or a civilian medal honor, right, over someone who was in combat and who earned it and who put their lives on the line, he is turning off people who support him. He is turning off the military, who has been his staunchest supporters, among his staunchest supporters. They don't like it, and if he loses them, he's in big trouble. Now, I want you to watch this. This is from two military dudes, as I call them, white dudes. They're over it, and he may be pushing these white dudes to vote for VP Harris. Watch.
If you're a veteran, watch this video. Last night, Donald Trump said that when he gave a billionaire the Presidential Medal of Freedom, that it was somehow better, his words, much better than the Congressional Medal of Honor. Donald Trump thinks that giving a civilian a peacetime medal is better than giving a hero in combat the Congressional Medal of Honor. Let that sink in. That alone should dissuade you from voting for him, if nothing else, if you ignore every other thing he's done. If you are voting for Donald Trump, you need to have your head examined.
There you go. And what can you say to that? You cannot really argue against that. People don't like being insulted. And that may have been funny at first. It may have been too cute by half, as they call it. I think I'm telling you, it's not resonating. And I believe that is the reason that Donald Trump is shaking up his campaign staff, that he is going back and bringing the old school people. I don't know if that's going to work. Corey Lewandowski, I'm not sure if Corey Lewandowski has managed to evolve and understand what's happening now. He's bringing back Kellyanne Conway. Now, let me tell you one thing about Kellyanne Conway. I know Kellyanne Conway fairly well. Worked with her for years. I've seen her recently. I've spoken to her. She is extremely smart. She's said some things recently that makes me believe that she doesn't understand what's going on, or maybe she's just being political about it, and she realizes she has to do it. When she says that Kamala Harris, she's like a whiteboard, meaning that you can, or a Rorschach test, you can make it into whatever you want it to be, right? She's the pretty girl. That's what she said. I'm paraphrasing her. She's pretty, she's smart, she's all of these things. So maybe she understands what's happening now, and that people don't want the 2016 strategy. They don't want the 2020 strategy. They don't even want the 2023 strategy. They don't even want the 2024 strategy. And you know what that means? That means the strategy of 2 or 3 weeks ago. Once Kamala Harris, VP Harris, entered this race, it changed everything. That changed the game. It changed the whole dynamics of this race. And it caught them off guard, and they're still trying to gain their footing, meaning the Republicans and MAGA, to figure out how this works. So he is changing his campaign staff, and if anyone can understand this and has a pulse on it, at least as a campaign manager, as an apparatchik, and I don't mean that in a negative way, it is Kellyanne Conway. And so perhaps she can bring him into the future or into the now when it comes to campaigning. We will see. But I got to tell you, We're here in Ohio, which is where JD Vance is from. They're not feeling him. We didn't speak to one voter, even Trump supporting voters here, who was high on JD Vance. Not one person. I like Trump. I think we should win. I think he's going to win. I want him to win. We need change. He's better for the economy. On and on and on. What about JD Vance as his home state? I don't know. Just saying. That is the truth. That's what's happening. So, people here are dreading the election because they're bombarded. Some are hopeful, but many are dreading it because it just causes angst. Because they feel like they've been thrown into the middle of like a boiling kettle. Okay, so we started out in New York City. And I thought it was important because we got a cross section of just about everybody in one venue. And this was the start of our trip out of the city. Fanatics Fest is put on by Michael Rubin, who owns Fanatics, which is a big sports betting company, correct? Right. Big sports betting company. We were at a place in New York City. For those of you who are not in New York City, it's called the Jacob Javits Center. Basically, it's just a big convention arena, or, you know, when you go to sell things, what do you call that? Anyway, just a big convention arena where people go and they sell their wares, or you can go there for events. And so he had this big event where he invited really A-list celebrities, A-list athletes. Everyone was there, from Tom Brady to Jay-Z to Quavo to Dana White, who's big with the UFC, to who else was there that we know? Lots of influencers there, just a bunch of really great people. The kid, Aiden Ross, who gave Trump the Tesla truck, was there, gave him a watch. He's become like he's a big, you know, what do you call him? YouTuber or that guy, streamer. He's a big streamer. Okay, so he was there. We got to talk to a lot of these people. We spoke to from everyone from celebrities to just attendees, because everyone's a voter. Let's play the recap, the New York recap, so you can see where we were.
New York, big city of dreams, concrete jungle where dreams are made of. We're going to Fanatics Fest. Do you feel your popularity has gone crazy over the last couple of weeks?
Yes, sir.
Why so?
Trump. Ain't next Trump.
Are you talking any politics?
Nah. I don't. I stay away from that.
Caitlin Clark around against John Stockton right now. She'd win 11-0 in one-on-one.
Caitlin Clark is better than John Stockton.
Wait, but why'd you speak at the Kamala rally?
She supported my campaign with Takeoff and the Gun Foundation. Loyalty. I stand on business.
You got a prediction for November? I think you know where I sit on that one.
Hey, we just, by the way, the exit, we're taking 90 West to Toledo, Ohio. So we're just veering off to go to Toledo, Ohio. So there you go. That was sort of a cross section of the people we spoke with. And when I talked to a bunch of people about how sports and politics have merged. You hear a lot of people, especially like Dana White, who is the CEO of the UFC. He's seen with Trump. Trump was at a big UFC event. He introduced him. He walked in with him. People are open to talking about these things. And we talked about the sort of intersection of sports and politics, and how sports brings everyone together usually. Okay, well, I thought we talked to some voters about it.
Sports is a great equalizer.
Age-wise, race, religion, you're all pulling for the same thing.
Why can't we do that in our politics?
That's tough. That's a tough one. I know.
Yeah. What do you think?
The issue is that when you're dealing with politics, there are special interests. But when you're dealing with sports, everyone is voting for their team, but there are no underlying self-motives.
Do you have any predictions for election?
I hope Harris and Walz is looking strong.
Who do you want?
I don't know. Neither of them.
We did hear that from a lot of people, neither of them. By the way, we're going through a toll booth right now. This is so weird. It's kind of interesting to be doing this, just going live, just driving down the interstate through different states. Okay, so there were a few people who said, I'm not happy with either candidate. We've heard that a number of times. I'm sure that happens every election, but for this one, I'm telling you, man, negativity is turning a lot of people off. So those are regular citizens who said they're voting. They had their ideas about who they wanted to support. Some of them said, I don't really know yet because I'm waiting to get more information. Now, Dana White is an interesting character. As I said, is the head of the UFC. And the UFC is it's rough and tumble, right? It's kind of devil may care. It's a lot of testosterone. It's a lot of bros, right? It's the Dana White, the Donald Trump, the Joe Rogan crowd, right? It's those kind of people who are part of that crowd. And Dana White's an interesting guy. He's very smart and he's very comfortable talking about politics, and he's not afraid to share his politics. He is a true believer, a true Donald Trump supporter. I caught up with him at Fanatics Fest to discuss just a little bit about why he's supporting Donald Trump and why he wants to be involved in politics. Watch.
Comfortable at the intersection of sports, politics?
I don't know. I just, listen, I'm honest about everything. And when I talk about politics, I talk about we're all Americans. All of us are Americans. Unfortunately, we don't gel and get together until we're attacked. That's when we really stick together and really support each other as Americans. And that's unfortunate. We got to fix that.
You got a prediction for November?
For November? As far as what?
Politics, the presidential election.
I think you know where I sit on that one.
Hey, listen, I have to say, look, I find Dana White to be very interesting. I know he's a controversial character. And I'm not excusing anything that he's done or anything that he stands for. I'm just saying, so I'm not like approving anything. What I will say about America is that it takes all kinds. And you don't always have to agree with people. Some people have things and issues in their past, people, whatever it is. But it takes all kinds. And he is a consequential person, a very consequential person, especially when it comes to young men in this country. They revere him. I think he had just about as many people trying to speak to him, talk to him, get his autograph, touch him as Quavo or as Tom Brady or any celebrity at that event. And he is the head of the UFC. So he has a huge impact on a large portion of the voting electorate and just a large portion of people in this country. So that was our take in New York, okay? And then we had much, much more. Some of it we'll put on our feed. We'll put it in our social, and we'll put it here on the channel as well. By the way, all of these clips that you're seeing, they're coming from our social. You have to check out our TikTok. You got to check out our TikTok is Don Lemon Official. Our Instagram is Don Lemon Official. Our X or Twitter is Don Lemon, and my Facebook is Don Lemon, I think. It's just but anyway, check it out. All of these clips are running there, and you can hear from the voters on our social media, on our digital platform, and the shorts here on YouTube as well. So that was New York. From New York, we went to New Jersey. We spoke to people all over. We were driving down the interstate as we are right now. We're passing a truck stop right now, right? So there you go. You see it right here. We're passing a truck stop right now. I got to speak to some truckers earlier today. And I'll show that to you in a little bit. We spoke to them about who's best for the economy, what they're hearing as they're going across the country. So we did that. That was in New Jersey. We also went to a place for real people, and that is the Jersey Shore. When I lived in Philadelphia, we'd always say we're going down the shore to go to Jersey. So we went down the shore, and we went to the boardwalk and the casinos, and we talked to people about who they were going to support. Check it out. This is Atlantic City.
We're here in Jersey, Atlantic City. Who do you support?
I plead the fifth.
Trump for the win.
Tell me why.
I can't really call that right now, but I just feel like she's not good for president. She's good vice, but not for the actual lead role for the country.
Does it have anything to do with being a woman?
No. No, because I feel like women, nah, you're not going to give me that.
Your money's on Harris.
Yeah,
Who do you want?
Trump.
Why don't you like Harris?
She doesn't have any experience.
She's the vice president. She's a senator.
Yeah, no experience. No. She had no experience.
Well, I want Donald Trump. I just feel we need somebody that has a stronger background with the military and the world in general.
She was a prosecutor and an attorney general and a senator and a vice president. You're in a gambling town. Who's your money on?
I'm going to support the Democratic Party, but, I mean, Trump looked like he got it in the bag right now.
4 years ago, it was a lot better. I made a lot more money than I do now.
I know you feel that way, but that's not actually what the record shows. The economy is actually better under Biden. No, I'm serious. That's what the facts show.
CNN?
Okay, you know what?
No, that's not because I watch CNN. Trump or Harris?
Trump.
That's who's going to win.
That's who's going to win.
Who you support?
I support Trump. All the people that came to this country legally, it's not fair that they're letting all 10,000 to 15,000 people or 20,000 people here illegally. Have you seen San Diego? Yeah. They're coming off the boats, off the water right here, off the ocean. Did you know Biden was flying them in? Did you know Biden was flying them in? You didn't know that?
What do you Canadians think about what's going on here?
We think you're all nuts. We're just watching from afar and just enjoying the show.
I got to get out of Atlantic City. Where are we going to next?
So it was a little fun there at the end, but look, it's interesting. Atlantic City was, one of the first places that I got to test this whole idea about polling and black men, and that more black men are supporting Donald Trump. Again, unscientific survey, but I've certainly seen it in my unscientific polling and just man on the street interviews with black men. A lot of them are supporting Donald Trump. Not all of them, but I would say the majority of black men that we've spoken to. What do you think? Yeah. I think they say that they're supporting Donald Trump. So that's interesting. And people, there's a lot of misinformation out there. Misinformation about the economy. I wanted to make sure that I was right as I was speaking to these people, speaking to voters. And so I did my research on the economy. And on some of the, major points for the economy, there are people who, Trump wins on some and Biden wins on some. Biden wins on most, right? Especially coming out of the pandemic. Donald Trump inherited a fantastic economy, or a good economy, I should say, coming out of President Barack Obama, and then continued on with that. And then, but not the job growth and all of that, not as good as, he makes it out to be. And then the pandemic came, he handled it poorly, and we got into a quagmire. It was awful. And then Joe Biden inherited that terrible economy, brought it back up by most major metrics. The economy is better under Joe Biden. Inflation, not good. Prices are going up. Jobs, all of that, better under Joe Biden. That's just the facts. It's not being partisan. So if you don't believe me, do some research, okay? But there's a lot of misinformation, about the economy and also about Kamala Harris. She doesn't have experience. Are you kidding me? She is the sitting vice president of the United States. If you are in a position of power and sitting that close to power, to the most powerful person in the world, you're going to learn something. You have to have something that was attractive enough or that warranted Joe Biden choosing you to be his running mate in order to win the presidency. That says something. In order to be able to do that, you have to have something to be elected a senator of one of the major states, one of the biggest states, if not the biggest state in the country. Okay, one of them, Texas, California, land-wise, and also population-wise. You have to have something. To be attorney general, you have to have something. To be a successful prosecutor, you have to have something. So to say that someone doesn't have experience, it doesn't make sense. You may not like what they believe in. You may not like what they stand for. You may not like their policies, but you cannot say that she does not have experience. She has a lot of experience. As a matter of fact, she has more governmental, she has more political experience than Donald Trump. Hands down. And especially if she becomes president, she's going to have way more experience than Donald Trump, because she will not only have the presidency on her resume, if she does indeed win, she'll have the vice presidency, she'll have the U.S. Senate, she will have attorney general, she will have prosecutor, she will have all of those things on her resume. I mean, I would love to be vice president of the United States and someone say, you're not qualified and you don't have experience. Wait, what? That's absurd. That's absurd. People don't even understand why they don't like her, okay? Or what policies they don't like. It's hard for them to articulate. Like this one lady we saw on the boardwalk at the Jersey Shore. I asked her about that. Watch.
I know nobody likes him, but we had good times with Donald Trump. Our economy was good. Life was good.
But you know the economy's better under Biden than Trump.
Bullshit.
Well, that's what the stats show. That's what the facts show.
Well, you know what? I don't know where they're getting their facts, but I don't think they're valid. I don't know where their facts are coming from.
Okay, so there you go. I think people are very susceptible. Listen, don't get me wrong. The economy's not perfect. People are, and when people aren't feeling it, that's a real thing. People vote with their pocketbooks. As I said, prices are up. Although they say there's no, inflation. I don't know. Look, and inflation is not good. That's not good. And you see Donald Trump now talking about prices. He's talking about prices because that's the only thing that he has. He can't really talk about jobs, right? If he does, it's disingenuous because unemployment is lower under Joe Biden, under President Biden Harris. So he'll talk about prices, and prices are up. So he's standing there. He stands there with, the grocery list or whatever. Okay, this is what's interesting to me. He's talking about prices, and look, don't get me wrong. You don't have to be working class or poor to understand that things are high. Do you think he goes to the supermarket? He has no idea what someone told him what eggs are, the price of eggs. Someone had to tell him all of those things. I'm just saying. So, I just saw like standing there in front of all of this food. I was like, all right, listen, the man doesn't have to be poor or, hurting or working class or whatever to know that prices are high. But I was just thinking, is it really, can he really relate to that? I don't know. I guess he can care about it. But it was just weird standing there and, suit and on the plane and the gold toilets and talking about prices and groceries and, I don't know, forget what it was, Maxwell House coffee, I forget whatever kind of coffee it was. So that was a little bit. So there's a lot of misinformation out there. When people just think, not all of Americans think that the world is so bad. And they understand that we were in, a once in a lifetime pandemic, which is going to take time for us to come back. And like the world shut down for a long time. So I actually kind of feel for the people of Pennsylvania because they're getting hit, getting bombarded. They're over the craziness. Here's the other thing that is a little bit odd, and that is respecting someone enough to be able to pronounce their name properly. And it also speaks to people who are sick of the tomfoolery, right? That's an old word. I like that. They're sick of the tomfoolery. They're sick of being bamboozled. They're sick of people playing the dozens. They're sick of the yo mama jokes. Basically, that's what this is. People capping on each other. Yo mama, calling people out their names. They're sick of it. And it's not, they don't understand that there is a racist tone to this. And I know you guys are dumb and everything is racist. No, it's not. I don't think everything is racist, but I like to call a spade a spade. Maybe that's a bad analogy, but I like to call it for what it is, okay? It's bullshit, and there's a racist tone. If you can't call someone their name, especially when their name is a bit ethnic, right? If you want to call it ethnic, or it's not sort of the traditional name like Don or Pete or Mike or Susie or Jane or whatever. If it's not that sort of name or some sort of Christian name, right? Michael, Joshua, right? All of those things, all the things. And you mispronounce it intentionally. And then sometimes you say it and you have to catch yourself that you're saying it properly and then you say it wrong. That you're intentionally doing it because it's not that hard. And even years ago, when VP Kamala first came on the scene and they were doing this BS, I gave a pronunciation lesson on my show, on my cable show on CNN. And I'm finding myself having to do the same thing. Check out just an example of one person I had to do it with. It's easy.
Hyphen is, right?
Yes.
Say hyphen.
Hyphen.
All right. Do you know what a period is? Say period.
Period.
Okay. Do you know what a comma is?
Comma.
Say comma.
Comma.
La.
Kamala.
And that's how you say it, not Kamala. Now say it again. Go with me again.
Yeah.
Say it.
Trump or Kamala?
There you go.
Trump or Kamala?
Yeah.
See, it's not that hard. And you gain more points when you respect people. And that's what I'd have to say to Donald Trump and the MAGA people, and is that when you respect people and you meet them where they are, just respect them. That's it. You don't have to call them out of their names. It doesn't have to be funny. Be mindful. Just be classy. I guess you guys are wondering why I'm saying that. That's because that is a TikTok meme that has been so funny that people are saying. So anyway, that's our road trip. That is our road trip, and we're so happy that you're joining us for our road trip. So there's Big John back there. Say, John, say hi.
What's up, guys?
John, see all that editing and stuff? That is John. John, are you digging being on the road?
Oh, it's the best.
It's
amazing.
You love it?
Being with Don and Chris, producer Chris, I'm the best.
What will we call you?
I think creator John.
Creator John. Creator John.
John over
And so, helping out all this, there is a producer. So getting you, John. Yelling at each other.
Everybody express that thing.
Yeah, for sure. Even the people who like Trump stay what?
Don't like the activity. But
Yeah. And I think and again, this is unsaid. Back. Nick, you're back. We were in a cornfield. Back on YouTube.
welcome back-ish. Maybe the service isn't the best right now. Back right now.
Tell us if we're back. I think we're back. I don't know. I don't know if we're back. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe Nikki's telling us we're back. Stand by. We'll see if we're back. You're back. Yes, we are back. Thank you. Okay, so we're in a cornfield. Are we back, Nikki? Okay, we're back. So listen, we're going to let you go because we are we have bad cell service, right? It's not just spotty because we're like in the middle of nowhere in some of these places. So hit the thumbs up, hit the likes, like and subscribe. Go to our social site and check out our content. And we'll be coming back live. We're gonna get to Chicago tomorrow, to Illinois, and then you'll see what we have from there. So sorry about all this breaking up, but this is real. This is how how it's happening live, and we want to bring you along with us. So I hope you guys don't mind. So thanks everybody for watching. We'll jump back on when we can. Say goodbye. What editor John? What do we call him? Creator John and producer Chris.
See you guys later.
Can we mog for them? How do you mog? I've been learning something new from the kids. They're turning me into Gen Z.
The Mog Master, right?
All right, guys. We're gonna be safe. You be safe. We'll see you soon. Have a great weekend. Bye.